1 sec. All right. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Gonzaga DC Classic. We are back with another exciting game this afternoon between the St. Vincent Pallotti Panthers with Coach Dennis Murphy battling against St. Maria Goretti under head coach Matt Miller. So it's the Gales versus the Panthers here. You got Scott Troxel calling the game along with my dauntless cohort, Bootstrap Bill Turner. Bill, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're doing here today?
Well, thank you, Scott. I appreciate you being here today. Smaller than the Gonzaga Classic, but again, it's a good local tournament that the Gales have done very well over the last couple years. So it looks like we have about a minute and a half to go for the tip-off if we start on time, which I hope we do, of course.
And I'm glad we're all out here today. The snow is coming down outside, but it's not really sticking, and it was not a bad drive down here. So,
yeah, so if you're watching this and you're within driving distance, it's not too late to get in the car and come on down to 19 I Street in Northwest Washington, which will lay out to be a good afternoon of local basketball.
Excellent. And while we've got a second here, we want to thank our wonderful sponsors of the Gonzaga DC Classic. Some of which is PwC, providing industry-focused services for public and private clients. Malloy Automotive Group in Woodbridge, Virginia, Charlottesville, and Winchester. And Palm Facility Services for all your janitorial, building maintenance, and construction cleaning services.
And we'll give a quick shout-out also on the Palm facility. A guy who runs that is a guy named Lance Ford, who is very actively involved in the local tournament here, and he puts a lot of time and a lot of hours into making sure the tournament runs well. So thank you, Lance, for that.
Excellent. And so the DC Classic is really about great basketball supporting good works. DC Classic is one of the Mid-Atlantic's premier high school basketball tournaments, bringing together top-ranked programs from around the country for great basketball. We'll step aside and let the announcer take it from here for a moment. All right, folks, there we have our starting lineups. We've got the Gales coming out with a 3-guard, 2-forward offense and defense, and the Panthers are coming out with the traditional 2 forwards, 2 guards, and a center. I want to remind everyone all the proceeds of the great DC Classic basketball, all the proceeds go to Gonzaga's numerous service projects and service trips. If you can't wait until halftime to hear more about it, please go to GonzagaDCClassic.org to learn more now and make a donation.
I spoke to Scott before the game a little bit with the coach for the Goretti Gales, and he said to watch Pilati will run a more traditional offense that you just mentioned with 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center. They were more of the traditional team on the court where the Gorettis will match it up and switch it up. Most of their players are about the same height, so they all kind of are a little bit more interchangeable than the Pilati team. So we'll see how it all folds out here.
Right. And the tip, we're off.
Looks like they're starting off in a man-to-man defense.
So Panthers with the ball in the white. They'll be going left to right on your screen. Oh, he stepped out on the end line. Josh Mack with a good rebound.
Couple decent looks at the basket there, but nothing fell.
A little bit out of control going to the basket. Early jitters. That was a nice dish underneath.
It looks like they're going to try to run it when they can. Obviously, there's been two back and forths quickly, but no one's put the ball in the basket yet.
Shooting 2. First blood for the Panthers. Gilbert 0-2 makes it 2-0.
Nothing but net on both those shots, Scott.
It's a good stroke. It's a nice steal there by Ronell Giles. Just couldn't stay in bounds.
2-0 Pilati, 7:15 to play.
We got the Gales in blue coming up from going right to left.
Oh. Should have had that one, Scott, right in his hands.
Hit him in a bad spot, huh?
Yeah. It's a good pass and a good look.
For 3.
Yep. Offensive board back out front. As you mentioned earlier, Scott, looks like everybody's still a tad bit nervous in the first game of the day.
A little bit of jitters. Just had another step out on the end line.
Looks like we're going to see some full court pressure here.
Trying to set up the trap. Here it comes. Ronell for 2.
Nice.
Knockdown.
Nothing but net again. 4-0 Pilati.
They were hitting the 3 ball quite a bit. They kept it from being a runaway.
There you go. They're on the board.
On the board. Gales down 4-1. We got almost 6 minutes left in the first quarter. 4-2.
Coming back out in their press. See if that helps them. Pilati is not seeming to have much of a problem with that press. Setting up in their offense now.
They're getting the ball down court and they're getting some spacing. They were a little jumped up to start this offensive segment. Oh, a nice backdoor cut.
Nice look, and with the left. Finishes it with the left, which I always tell my son. You don't see a lot of people shooting with their left hand, but
good defense right there. Briggs McLean
Yeah.
with the good defensive stop after hitting the hoop at the other end.
Yeah, Atu had a couple inches on him. He tried to back him down, but just lost his footing. As you mentioned, just a good stop by Coretti. Let's see if they can turn that defense into some offense here.
Good set of the screen. Put back, no good. Rogers gets the roll, makes it 8-6. The early subs are making an impact in this game.
Yep.
Rogers and McLean both putting up some hoops.
Ooh, little out of control there. You saw that coming from a mile away.
Yeah, he's looking for the foul, but I'm saying no deal on that one right now.
I think the refs got that one right.
Yes, they did.
Coretti's got as a young team. I think number 4, who is it? Mack is their only senior on the team, I think.
That's correct, yes.
Over the top.
Good board by the big man.
Nice battle. Nice battle won by Coretti. We have an 8-8 tie now with 3 minutes left in the game.
Oh, nice block.
Nice block. Numbers.
Good pump fake.
That's a great shot. That's a nice ball.
Smart basketball. McLean with another hoop, really providing a spark off the bench. Good hands.
Good hustle by Pilati. They rewarded with the ball. They'll be bringing it up.
Bringing some starters back in.
Atu's back in the game. Nice dish inside. Good ball movement. Got it to the right man, just couldn't get it to go in the basket. But Pilati will keep the ball.
Really good defense by the Gales right there. Prashemek keeps standing still with his hands straight up in the air, avoiding the foul on that play. Well done, well coached. Still on the inbound. Here we go the other way.
I think he rushed that one a little bit, Scott. I think he'd like to have that ball back.
Might have considered bringing that out. The 1-on-3 rarely works.
Yeah. I think the coach may have a chat with him about that later in the day.
All tied up at 10-10 with a minute left in the first quarter.
That was on Atu. Got a little bit too aggressive on that loose ball.
Those physical mistakes, a coach will take that every day, though.
Yep.
Going to the floor, playing hard.
In and out.
Open look.
Yep.
Halfway down and just popped out on him. Nothing but net right there for O2.
O2 got rewarded for his play on the defensive end last time down.
That's it. Panthers have the lead, 12-10, 30 seconds to go in this first quarter. We got us a hot one here at the Carmody Center. They're just not dropping for the Gales. It's another clean shot, halfway down and popped right out.
Mack had a good look, took it, just couldn't get the drop. One second.
Sloppy pass, turnover. Good if it goes.
End of the first quarter.
Panthers up 12-10 over the Gales. And it's pretty good first quarter basketball. What do you think, Bill?
Yeah, Scott, it's funny. Plotty jumped off to I think it was a 6-2 lead at one point, and it looked like they may run away from it, but you know, their ball control got a little bit sloppy. Coretti was able to sort of right the ship a little bit, made a couple shots. Again, I watched them play Gonzaga yesterday, and they had some talent, just Gonzaga had more, so I think it'll probably be a pretty good ball game going forward.
Agreed, and I think I liked what I was seeing from Coach when the Panthers went out to that early lead. Coach put 3 guys in off the bench, and they really provided a spark, came in with some good energy, put some baskets up, and got them right back in the game. And
yeah, agreed. Sometimes, you know, the chemistry isn't working early on. You could tell there is some nervousness and some sort of anxiousness on a couple of players, and they sort of settle them down, and you know.
At the same time, those in white, nice backdoor cut, and the big slam dunk.
You're not going to miss that one. It's funny, Scott, you were talking about the coaching and the substituting. The coach of Coretti, Matt Miller, did a short stint at Shepherd College in West Virginia as a college coach. So I think he probably brings a little bit of experience to the boys.
Yes.
Nice breakaway there.
So that's the second dunk in a row for R.J. Blackney to start this second quarter. And they come right back out and take the lead, 14-12. Panthers
nice
come back with a 3 to get that lead back 15-14 early in the second quarter. Nice strong move to the hole by Golek there, and a finish with the left.
Yep, I don't think he did much in the first quarter. He's a junior and he's got some experience, and he's one of their stronger players. I guess he's starting to show it a little bit. Wow, another 3.
Left his feet to make the pass, and the Panthers made him pay.
Let's see what kind of inbound play they run.
Looks a little bit like a playground inbound play. Somebody get open.
I'm not sure that was a play.
Somebody get open when I slap the ball.
That's like sloppy on sloppy. And Coretti gets the ball back.
Looking a little bit like Monroe Avenue basketball out there on the blacktop. Let's see if these guys settle it down. And
for those who don't know that reference, Scott plays basketball every Saturday with a group of guys that are, I'll say, his contemporaries. I won't say what age group that is, but
it's the geriatric league.
Crowd, yeah.
Long board, second look for the Panthers. Inside to the big man with a strong finish and drew the foul.
Nice look, nice pass, made the shot just what he was supposed to do, and now he'll go to the line. It's been, Scott, a relatively foul-free basketball game. I think that's probably the first foul on Pilati. Maybe the second, but no one's in foul trouble yet, and it's been a pretty clean game as far as that's concerned.
You're right. I don't think we'll be seeing the bonus if it continues that way. That was a nice finish by Madding, withdrawing the foul, and he made good on the free throw from the charity stripe. So well done.
Coretti has the lead, 19-18, with just under 6 minutes to play.
A long 3. Strong move to the hole.
Mac, the senior, with another bucket. It looks like both teams are getting a little bit more of a rhythm with their offense. The buckets aren't all dropping, but they're taking good shots, and they're being a little bit smarter with the ball. Whoa.
Great block by Matting. Not open for business, son.
Yep. I don't think he'd be going in the lane with that shot again anytime soon.
It's a 6'9" listed as a forward. I think I see him playing number 5 right now.
Oh.
Ooh, a little bit of happy feet to get started there, I guess. Pass inside.
Good pass, good shot. That seems to be working from that inside basket.
It's a great assist for Matt Rogers right there. One of those fans almost went home with a lucky souvenir of a fat lip. Good reaction to get out of the way of that kick ball.
Yeah. Number 12, Matting Scott, on both ends of the court is sort of making his presence known. As you mentioned earlier, he swatted that ball into the stands on the last defensive stop, and then he had a nice easy lay-in for a 2-point basket. So let's see if they continue to work him here as the second quarter unfolds.
Yeah, it was good hands to pick up that assist.
Shimbala with the rebound, the forward at 6'7". So Coretti certainly has some size out in the court today. Shimbala could not hold it. He's got some size, but his hands kind of let him down that time. It was a good look underneath, just didn't happen.
And that's a sizable 6'7". He's a man out there.
Nice.
Gale's going to the zone defense, and Giles makes him pay with the three-pointer. Gonna have to go back to man if they can keep hitting that three.
That's their senior leadership. He was open, took the shot, made him pay.
That's one way to beat the zone.
26-21. Pilates ahead by 5. 3.5 minutes left to play.
The quick timeout, the 5-point lead, I think is about the highest the lead's been throughout this game.
That's your 6'7" guy who we think plays like he's longer than 6'7". That was a nice sort of half hook, I guess you call it.
Yeah, just a really nice touch shot.
Speaking of touch,
Kyron Martin off the bench with a long three. Gales are going to have to move that defense out a little bit further.
And if you talk to the Pilates coach, he likes him coming off the bench. He gets a little bit more of a rhythm if he's on the bench and watches so the team unfold a little bit, and that's what his stroke is, and that's where they bring him in for that outside shot.
See where the openings are, and he was just spotting up and looking for that one the whole way. You knew that he was pulling the trigger as soon as that ball hit him. Caught it in mid-stride, ready to stroke it.
Reminds you of your days, speaking of that Monroe Avenue group, right? Isn't that one of your strengths on a Saturday morning? Except you have a lefty shot. I found it's a 3-point shot, or it's a layup, or it's a dunk. You don't see a lot of people pulling up to take that 10 to 12-foot shot, which
it's becoming a lost art.
Exactly. Yes.
But the Gales are playing smart against that zone. They're just whipping that ball around and waiting for their opening. Make 5 passes, somebody's going to be open for a shot.
That was in the cylinder and came back out. They worked it. It was a good look, just didn't drop.
Merrill Matting, it was a nice stroke. Coach is going to say, keep taking that one. Oh, he was looking. He wanted to take it from downtown.
You're not going to see too many uncontested layups in this game, especially if it says Coretti tall bodies like that.
Panthers in the zone. Josh Mack a little slow to get up after taking a really hard pick on the defensive end. Seems to have shaken out the cobwebs. Got the ball now. Inside to Simboli, the big man with another touch shot. No good.
That's his first miss, I think, on his last 3 tries. So he's still
a nice long bounce pass.
Coretti, do they have numbers? I don't think so. Let's see.
Who needs numbers when you got that kind of athleticism, Bill?
That's why I said, let's see, Scott.
That was a nice little hesitation, and then just turn on the afterburners right through the hole. Good look underneath. Just a little quicker to get that pass to him.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest for Pilati to go into the basket a lot, but that was a good shot. He had it. Probably should have made that shot, but it was a good defensive play by Coretti.
Yeah, they got back. His teammates saw that pass just a little too late.
Shambhala has been a presence on the defensive end.
16 seconds to go here in the first half. Panthers up 29-27, 7 seconds on the clock.
Let's see what they do. They're going to take an outside shot, that's my guess.
See if the Gales can tie it up going into the half here. And he makes it count. Forget tie it up, Bill. They're going up 32-27. So the Gales up 32-27 going into the half. What do you think of the game so far, Bill?
I don't think they had that last play drawn up on the chalkboard, but I think they'll take that. I mean, that thing almost hit the lighting structures on the top of the building.
The clock was going down. He got rid of it just in time. Classic buzzer beater.
I'll say, if Pilati ends up winning this game by 3 points, they'll be talking about that one after the game is over.
It's a hotly contested game here today. Both teams seem to be pretty evenly matched. The Panthers going into the zone defense. The Gales went to the zone, right?
Yeah, the zone. They went to the zone, and I will say Pilati sort of worked it around where they can. Seemed to me most of the time they took it inside, either Shambhala or the other, I forget the other guy's name, the other tall player that they have, sort of owned the paint. They had a couple of inside looks, but most of it was coming from the outside. They didn't hit them all, but that's kind of where I think they're going to make their bacon in the second half.
And the Panthers hitting a lot from 3. We'll take a look at the stats during the halftime break here in a couple of minutes. Just so that we can earn our pay here, I'm gonna list a couple more of the sponsors. We've got I'd like to thank SDA assisting clients to develop communications and legislative strategies. The Lynch Retirement Investing Group, your partners in retirement.
I can say really until Gordon went to Emmitsburg and they actually put a weed whacker in his hand, and a shovel in his hand, he really wasn't really too conversant with some of those tools. I don't know about your son. He may be doing more around the house than mine, but I will say the first fall he came back from that Emmitsburg trip, I put him outside and he's like, wow, now he knows how to really do a little bit of yard work.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. No, I really do. I appreciate that, and they really work them hard out there. And they get out there and they work hard all day long, and then they come back and get to the retreat house and play hard at night. But they're bushed and they're in bed early, and they find out what it's like to really work and see some of the world and what's out there.
Exactly, and we live inside the Beltway, and we get accustomed to some of the niceties and some of the creature comforts of that a lot of people that most of our kids take for granted. And some of these communities, whether it be Emmitsburg, Pennsylvania, or Camden, New Jersey, or some of these places where the Gonzaga kids go, that's not a part of their daily life. And I think it's important for these, and I don't know if it was Emmitsburg, maybe you can remind me, but on some of these trips, they say, this is what we want you to bring. Your clothes, your shoes, some work gloves, a book. But if it needs a battery or it's electronic, we're gonna leave those at home, boys.
Yeah, and if they do have them, they get put away.
Exactly.
And they get one. Danny was in New Orleans this past summer, and he got to call us on Wednesday. That's when they got the phone for an hour, and otherwise He was down there, and he came back really surprised to see that the Ninth Ward is still a lot of empty lots, and 10 years after Katrina, still trying to come back.
Yeah, and again, Gordon did Camden, New Jersey last summer. Again, talk about whether you want to use the word impoverished or underdeveloped, or sometimes at night these are scary neighborhoods that these boys go into, and obviously they are safer they're going to, but just going into some of these inner city neighborhoods. I mean, Gonzaga is in an inner city neighborhood, and 15 years ago, you probably wouldn't want your son walking here after dark. I mean, this neighborhood has gotten a lot better, but places like Camden, New Jersey, Ward 9 down in New Orleans, it's a part of the world, or part of the United States that these kids normally don't see, and to have them out there, not only seeing it, but improving the community. Again, it matures the boys. It gives them a sense of self-worth, and they come back, that they've accomplished something. They've done something for one of their neighbors, which is what Gonzaga is all about.
And they're inspired that hopefully that is going to lead to a lifetime of service, because they get to see what it feels like to make a difference. They come back excited about it. I had talked with Johnny Harrington, came back from Red Cloud out on the Indian Reservation this summer, and we talked, or he talked, and I listened for about 30 minutes about that trip and all he learned, and the plight these people are facing,
Sure.
and how often do you get that with a teenage boy?
Exactly, and I know your son, Danny, like my son Gordon, is also going through the college application process. And I will say, some of the questions are challenging. The essays are daunting. But when it comes to most of these colleges that Gordon is applying to, there's a section about community service and what have you done. And that's a layup for Gordon and for your son Danny and for the Johnny Harringtons and all the Brendan Griffiths and all the Gonzaga boys, because it is ingrained. It's a part of the DNA here at the school. And it's a wonderful thing for these boys to not only do it, but be proud of it. And I don't know where Gordon's going to go to college, but I can tell you when they get to his section on that application for community service, it's a very strong part of what he does.
Well, all the Catholic schools tend to have like a certain number of hours of service required, and it's like you don't even really need to track it here, because they just go sailing right by that. There's campus kitchen here on campus, and the McKenna Center where they come in and serve those less fortunate right here on campus, and that's a great experience for the guys.
And you mentioned the McKenna Center, which I did not realize this, but my son Gordon told me earlier in the year. The McKenna Avenue location allows you to experience Washington, D.C. right outside your door. And also I'm gonna do a shout out to Folger, Nolan, Fleming, and Douglas, which is a local brokerage firm which has been around for over 100 years. And the office manager is a guy over there named Terry Wallace. And I worked with Terry Wallace 25 years ago when I worked at Johnson Lemon, which is a local brokerage firm. And Terry he's a great guy, and he's got a
and we're back.
That moment of silence was not our planned moment of silence, but we'll take it anyhow. Little IT glitch there, but luckily Ron Jakes is in the building, and there is not a person who knows more about internet technology than Ron Jakes. Ron Jakes is the St. Mary's dad that Scott and I have known for years, and he does the lion's share of the work. There are some other great volunteers here, but I'll tip of a hat to Ron Jakes, who does a lot of the work here. He doesn't get enough credit.
When he's not stepping on the switch on the power strip, taking us out,
well,
he's running a flawless tournament.
I wasn't going to mention that, Scott, but since you brought it up.
Ron, who's been known to play a little basketball himself, and I'll tell you, no one sets a harder pick than Ron Jakes.
I assume those are all legal picks that he's setting?
It depends who you're talking to.
Yes, my son Gordon and Scott's son Danny and Ron's son John all went to St. Mary's together, and now all go to Gonzaga together. So they've been buddies for more years than I can count.
Long time. And we've coached them at basketball and tennis and everything else.
The first half is getting ready to start with St. Vincent Pallotti with a 32-27 lead off to St. Maria, excuse me, Goretti.
Panthers in white with the ball, going right to left on your screen. Gales down 27-32 at the half.
Quick foul to start the first half.
It's on Rashawn Edwards with the Gales. Good save by Somerville. Oh no, sorry, good save by Johnson.
The Gales are playing a man-to-man defense, but they're keeping the ball. Pallotti seems to be keeping the ball around the perimeter. They're not good rebound there. Taking the ball inside the first half did not work well for Pallotti because of Goretti's size. Let's see what happens here in the second half. They're still up by 3.
Just kind of come out, see what kind of intensity they're coming out with, and coach said, you know what, let's regroup, let's figure things out, sure. Maintain this lead. Panthers have cut into it by 1 basket.
The Pallotti ball on the sideline. Warwick throwing it in. Let's see if the rental place got over. It's just, again, as you mentioned earlier, it's just sort of let's get the ball to somebody and then see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh. Almost. Good play, good hustle, good defense, just a little bit too aggressive.
The Gales are coming out trying to go to the half-court trap and see if they can catch the Panthers off guard and get some turnovers.
Yeah, that time they did. It just didn't work out for the last 3 seconds of the press.
And here's that trap again.
Nice.
And that's what happens if they beat the trap. Gilbert Otu with a nice 13-footer.
Again, that mid-range jumper, which you don't see a lot of it, but he made him pay.
That was a beauty there by Prashemek Golek. 3-pointer.
He's one of their keen outside shooters.
34-32 Panthers.
I think he's got some Polish. I think his ancestry is from Poland. There's a little bit of international flair for the Pallotti team. Yeah.
Little, here we are in D.C., home of Marcin Gortat,
exactly.
number 5 for the Wizards.
Right, who we call the Polish Hammer, right?
Yes. Rocking that mohawk. My daughter loves him.
My son is a big Wizards fan. I like college basketball and I like high school basketball. And he watches any game, the sun up, the sun down, and he's a big Wizards guy. Of course, John Wall is not playing right now, which is.
Yeah, we miss him terribly.
Yep.
He's one of the best point guards in the NBA.
Good look by number 20.
Panthers coach a little hot. Thought that ball went off the foot of one of the Gales, but not so, says the guy who was right next to the play and not 90 feet away.
Little side huddle here. I don't know if that's a timeout. There's something going on with the court or the clock, perhaps. I didn't hear anybody call a timeout.
Well, the referees are in discussion, deciding where they're going for pizza after the game.
We've got 3 little huddles going on. And some music.
Oh my God. We got everything here.
I guess they've worked out whatever it was. Pallotti still with a 2-point lead, 34-32 with 5 minutes and 14 seconds left. Don't know who made that shot, but it was a nice little left-handed layup.
That was a nice shot by R.J. Blackney.
They still continue to press that ball right as it comes over the midcourt line.
Oh, a nice jab step. Oh, and an even better defensive play.
You know, he went up for the dunk. His eyes lit up, and he thought that dunk was just sitting there waiting for him.
Cimbella said, not in this house.
4-point swing there. Now he's at the foul line.
Well, because it's always going in, Coach.
Exactly.
He makes good on the first from the charity stripe. Gilbert 0-2.
Warwick comes out of the game for Pilati.
I think he's 3 for 3 from the line. Tickled the twine.
0-2's got 9 points. I think he's the high scorer right now for Pilati. Our little machine just went down, so I'm not 100% sure of that.
We're all tied up at 36 with 4 to go. Gales make it 38-36. 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Nice bounce pass shot inside.
Nice little turnaround, soft jumper, nothing but net.
Gilbert 0-2 showing some nice touch right there.
I think those are his 10th and 11th points of the afternoon. Whoa.
Panthers now running a little trap of their own, see if they can catch the Gales off guard.
Nice inbound play.
Cersei with the nice backdoor move.
Ready
and the finish.
Ready with a 2-point lead after that little play. Garetti's playing some pressing man-to-man defense. Not a lot of air in between those two players with the ball. Worked.
Yeah, lots of energy and liberal subbing by the coach to keep fresh legs out in that game.
They have definitely turned up the intensive pressure in the second half.
Number 15, Matt Rogers in the game now. Making his first appearance, I believe. Tough shot, good defense.
Good block. Oh, and a foul. One five.
Little push on Rogers there. Just got a little overzealous going for that ball.
As you mentioned earlier, Scott, you know, the coach is not going to get mad at a foul if you're playing aggressive and you're trying to make something happen.
But they are never pleased with a foul that is that far from the opponent's hoop. Nice fake.
Good look, good fake, good look, good pass. Just the shot did not drop.
Good rebound by 6'9" Matting. Oh, it's a nice strong move to the hole.
That was the right play. Garetti is up by a pair, 40-38 with 2 minutes and 42 seconds to play. And at the foul line, number 23.
Blackney, R.J. Blackney. Couple of looks. Around the rim, a little short. And a lot short on that second one. Let's just leave it at that.
At the charity stripe and came away with nothing. You hope that doesn't affect the end of the game. And these high school players, you know, usually between 50 and 75% is what they shoot from the free throw line.
Those are the ones that come back and bite you, especially when the announcer calls it out.
Nice look. Didn't fall.
Strong move to the hoop, just could not finish. For three.
Been a little bit of a scoring drought here. I don't think we've had a basket in the last minute and a half, 2 minutes. Let's see.
Good, strong.
Bingo. Tie game.
Made them count. 40-40, 2 minutes to go in the third. Gales bringing the ball up, left to right on your screen in the blue.
Under 2 minutes to play. Ooh.
Tough shot.
Offensive rebounds.
Second and third look.
Yep. The Gales have been cold their last 3 or 4 shots, and a couple of those shots have been beat ugly.
Keep fighting for those offensive rebounds, though. And here we
There's
are for an open
look.
three,
There you
and
go.
splash.
That was number 10, right? That I made that shot?
Rashawn Edwards from the corner. Nothing but net.
Then he breaks the scoring drought, and Coretti goes up by a tray.
Not
not
getting
today.
that one.
Not today and not tomorrow.
Oh, good speed. Just couldn't finish.
Uh-oh.
Rashawn Edwards.
Rashawn seems to be limping a little bit. I hope that's a mild turn of that ankle. A lot of bodies on the floor and a whistle. Let's see what's going on here. Pilati foul.
Rashawn's over there walking it off. A little bit of an awkward landing on that last drive to the hoop.
Get ready with the
Miles
ball.
Mallory back in the game.
We just hit the 1 minute mark. We've got a 3-point lead by the Goretti Gales. With the ball, moving from our left to our right in the navy blue uniforms.
Oh, good backdoor cut. Nice pass.
Wow, good pass, good shot, good defense. It was a clean block. Pilati with a chance to pull within one as we end the third period here.
22 seconds on the clock here in the third. Goretti Gales with the opportunity for the inbound play.
Pilati's getting some subs in now, some fresh legs.
See if they hold on to it. Go for the last shot here with 20 seconds left.
Looks that way. Gotta keep your eye on that clock.
10 seconds, 9, 8, 7. There's 4 seconds on the clock, but somehow the buzzer went.
I heard that noise
Honest
too.
people, I'm not that bad at the countdown.
I thought somebody called a foul. I don't know what that noise was. But it wasn't much of a shot by Pilati. I don't know who took that shot.
He had the line on that one, didn't go.
So we've got the Coretti Gales with a 3-point lead at the end of the third period. What do you think, Scott? What do you think the fourth period is going to hold for these two teams?
I really like what I'm seeing out here. Both teams playing with a lot of intensity, and this has been a fast game up and down the court. They're really working the ball, really playing hard on defense. Both coaches substituting liberally and going deep on their bench. I think they both have pretty good.
And we also had Jay Larinaga, who came up from Miami. Of course, you remember Chris Leitch, who played for Gonzaga last year, is now a Miami Hurricane and doing quite well down in Miami.
And Larinaga's a fan favorite in these parts after that George Mason Final Four run.
Of course.
Several years ago.
And Jay Payne, of course, has the connection of the 2016 NCAA championship.
You taught him everything he knows, right, Bill?
Well, I like to take credit for that, but Ryan's a Villanova fan and a buddy of mine. And Villanova is actually having a pretty good year this year. Last year was not so much. They had a little bit of a hangover after the national championship.
My son Jack is a huge Villanova fan. That was an exciting game when Jenkins hit that three, and it was a set play all along to go to him for that three-pointer.
And a little-known fact, which I didn't discover this, but Ryan told me this: it was the second game-winning shot at the end of a championship game in NCAA history.
Wow.
There have been game-winning shots in semifinals and quarterfinals, but as far as the final, and I think, and I'm sure somebody will correct me on this, I think there was an earlier one like in 1972 or 1971. But that's kind of an interesting fact that someone told me.
I'm getting some tweets from the hecklers out there, and we'll see if anyone can tell us who got that other game winner. And it certainly is St. Mary's dads.
Well, I'm glad they're watching and listening, so I'll give them credit for that.
Yeah, I've heard from my pal Connor McDavitt up in Boston, Massachusetts, and Michael Griffith chimed in. He just had to he's going to have to check out now since I have to fix my toilet that Brendan kind of broke. Hey, I'm just reporting what's coming in on the Twitter feed.
I've just checked mine. I know we have at least 3 listeners, because I've got 3 brothers down in Southern Maryland that are huddled around a computer screen watching this game.
Excellent. Hello, boys.
Hello, Bobby Frank and Carlisle Turner down in Charles County, Maryland. Stay with us. We still have a 3-point game. Oh, I take that back. Now we have a 5-point game.
5-point ball game. Panthers up 45-40 with 7 minutes to go in the game.
Let's see if Pilates can break this.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. The Gales are up.
Yeah, the Gales are up.
45-40.
Pilates continues to have problems with the Gales' size underneath the basket. I think if they're not going to be hitting jump shots, this could be a tough 4th period for them. They've got to sort of figure that out.
Well, they're working hard to keep them out and just try to physically keep them out of the paint. But once it goes in, it's tough to stop. Yep. That's a good block right there.
Offensive boards again for the Credit Gales. I don't know how many extra looks they've had at the basket, but certainly more than the Pilates has. John Mack, the senior, with the ball, settling things down. That's a great shot.
Going high off the glass. Josh Mack. Hello, nice to see you. James Searcy just paid us a little visit over here at the scorer's table.
Don't worry, Scott, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Me too, Bill. Thanks.
So just under 6 minutes to play. Goretti with the 7-point lead. Let's see if they try to take a little air out of the ball in some of these possessions and slow this game down. Because Pilates has really not scored much in the second half. That may be their first point.
Yep.
Into the Panthers' 11, number 24, Karan Martin. On for the Gales, number 12, Mario Mack.
Pilates Panthers in blue coming the other way.
See the ball!
Ready Gales really need to stop here to keep it tight in the 4th. In and out, another offensive rebound.
Shimbala again. He has been a presence both on the offensive boards in the 4th period.
No, it feels like a different ball game to start this 4th quarter. Not a lot of baskets dropping.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of the beginning of the 1st period, and everybody was a little bit anxious and the adrenaline was going, and no one could find the basket. You know, the old, the basket had a lid on it, rather.
Chalk some of that up to some tenacious defense. These guys continue to play with lots of energy.
Yeah. Does that have anything to do with, Scott, that they're, again, 17 and 18 years old?
Well, I was just sitting here. I wasn't going to bring it up, but it's the kind of energy you don't see late in the game out there on Monroe Avenue. I'll tell you that right now.
Or maybe you see it as you're sitting down on the bench watching those guys out there.
You got that right.
I will say, Scott told me he played 2 hours of basketball this morning, and when I picked him up this morning, he did not limp one bit to the car. Although I think you did say you'll sleep well tonight.
It's I had my vitamin ibuprofen.
Okay.
Another timeout
Another
on the floor.
timeout.
Still 41-47. Goretti Gales with the lead. 4:35 to go in the ball game.
So I should know this, but I think this is the 29th annual DC Classic. I did have that number in front of me
It
earlier.
is the 29th year for the DC Classic.
Although originally it was not on the Gonzaga campus, I think. I think I heard from maybe somebody will tweet that into us also. I think originally it may have been over at Bender Arena at Catholic, perhaps?
It was. I remember doing a couple of broadcasts out of Bender Arena up there at American University, my alma mater.
A shout out.
Shout out at the lovely gym there that they did not have back in the Stone Ages when I went there. We used to hop on a bus and go over to Fort Myer to watch our basketball.
And I'm guessing Fort Myers, and the Bend is not a huge arena, but Fort Myers, did it hold 500 or 1,000 people?
About
in there?
1,000. It was. We got it rocking pretty good.
I'm sure.
And I'll say this: the 1 year, AU basketball is not the hugest. They did make it to the tournament a couple times in the last decade, but
that would be the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
Wow.
It was a big night though when our team, the AU Eagles, beat the Georgetown Hoyas with Patrick Ewing 1 year.
Bravo.
Campus went nuts as if we'd won the Final Four. It's just a regular season game.
I wish I had seen that, Scott. In my book, any win over the Georgetown Hoyas is a good win. I'm a lifelong Maryland fan, so there's no good blood between me and the Georgetown Hoyas, especially Thompson the senior. I like Thompson Jr. better.
And with that, I'll give a shout out to my sister Robin, a Hoya grad, and my buddy Sean McLaughlin, a Hoya grad and a big fan.
Apologies to both those people. But being a Maryland fan growing up, you couldn't be a Maryland fan and a Georgetown fan.
That's what it's all about.
Speaking of the local rivalries, of course, there's a local connection to the college scene. Mark Turgeon, the head coach of Maryland's son, Will Turgeon, plays on the Gonzaga Eagles. He's a senior and one of their stronger point guards.
It's great stuff. Panthers with a nice fast break and a strong finish.
Pilati with the ball under their basket and a chance to make this either a 2 or a 3-point lead. Their inbound plays, Scott, have not been anything to write home about so far in the game. Let's see if it changes here.
Looks like they've been running the same inbound play every time.
There you go.
Nice touch right there.
That
Miles
was a good
Mallory
work.
hits the hoop.
Good shot. So now we do have a 2-point game. Do not leave your TV sets. Didn't quite have the touch. Good little turnaround jumper. 8 feet, just did not drop.
Panthers coming the other way with a chance to tie here.
Nice feed.
And they tie it up. 2:51 to go. We're all tied at 47.
That's a classic case of making that extra pass, Scott. That was a good look. Timeout. Timeout by Goretti. Their lead has evaporated, and we now have a 47-47 tie with 2.5 minutes roughly to play. I guess we spoke too soon. The scoring seems to be picking up since we last chatted.
They're hitting some nice touch shots, and you know what's been the difference for the Panthers to get back in this thing? The mid-range jumper. Maybe it's not a lost art after all, Bill.
Well, I guess I'm sure it wasn't me, but I guess their coach has been telling them they're not going to make a living going inside against the Goretti Gales with their size and their length. But again, to your point, that 8 to 10 footer, that's what's kept them in it. Not the 3-point shot, but the 2-point shot.
And it was that quick jailbreak, fast break play with the end one that kind of shifted the momentum, as we said. So now we got 2 minutes and 44 seconds to decide this thing. An exciting ball game here.
As I mentioned earlier,
Campus of Gonzaga.
neither one of these teams have played each other, so let's see how the bragging rights over the next 2.5 minutes of basketball.
There you go. The Goretti Gales versus the Pilati Panthers.
And Scott, in case you're wondering, when I played high school basketball at Archbishop Neal in the Plate of Maryland in the early 70s, if we played Pilati, yes, we did.
Did you really?
Did they beat us all the time? Yes, they did.
Spalash from 3. James Searcy.
Back then, they were just called Pilati High School. Whoa.
Trading threes.
Oh, my.
Ron Giles comes right back with the answer. 50 points each with 2.5 to go in the game.
That was a good timeout for both teams. This is going
what an underhand shot there.
This is going to be who's smarter with the basketball for the next 2 minutes. Both teams can prove they can score from the outside. And again, Pilati's been making those short inside jumpers. Let's see about ball control here. I think the intensity has just notched up a ratchet or two.
Yep, trying to stay sharp, work the ball, look for a good look like that inside. Ron Giles with another hoop, 52-50. Panthers with the lead.
1:30 and a block. And an offensive board. 0-2 didn't think that was a foul, Scott, but the referee disagreed with him.
You know what? That happens.
Yep.
Putting R.J. Blackney on the line. He's hit a few from the stripe tonight.
Pilati is up by 2.
Cool as a cucumber.
Pilati is up by 1.
That's a big free throws. Another big one coming up here. 1:25 left in the game. This is
a basketball game. We have a tie game here with just under a minute to play.
Ariel Matting checking out of the game with Abdul Simbala coming in for him. Get that big man underneath.
You said that well, Scott. those are some tough names there. So as you mentioned
Simbala Zabala.
You mentioned earlier, Pilati runs one inbound play, and it's basically just to get the ball out in the perimeter and start the offense. You think that's what they're going to probably do it again?
Yeah, I think so. It's the two guys on the block, screen across for each other, and somebody look for the lob over the top. Well, it's an exciting game here. 52-52, 55.8 seconds left in the game.
Here at the Carmody Center at Gonzaga College High School in downtown Washington, as the snow continues to fall. I can't see the street out there, but I'm guessing it's not really sticking.
No, it's not been all that cold around here. We'll see what's doing as it gets a little darker out there, but.
And those of you who are within the same area code and the time zone as our voices certainly should come down and watch some of this high school basketball this afternoon and also tomorrow.
If this thing goes in overtime, Bill, and the roads get bad out there, I think we can walk over to Ireland Zone for a
some post-game celebration.
Pint to Guinness is maybe in order. If our wives are listening, you'll know where to find us.
Good head fake and a senseless foul. He's going to the line for 3 points. And then we can come back, Scotch, and watch the second game. That'll work out well.
I love it. 3 shots, that's a big foul right here.
Yes.
Chance to go up by 3.
52 seconds left.
Nice shot, ice in his veins, I guess.
Nothing but the bottom of the net there.
Front of the rim, a little yip on that one. Let's see if it's just another free throw here.
Kyron Martin, the senior, at the line for the number 3, up by a point. Bingo.
54-52.
Plenty of time.
Panthers.
Preddy does not need to rush this at all. Let's see if they set their offense and try to do something down on the block.
That was a pretty good no call. Could have been an offensive right there.
Yeah, that was a little bit out of control. He's lucky he got that ball back. They've called timeout. I suspect the Credit coach is going to call up a little better play than that when they get that ball.
That was, they were lucky to get the no call on that one. It looked like an offensive to me.
That was a big shoulder he dipped and took toward the basket.
Yeah.
But I appreciate them letting the boys play. 18 seconds. Again, you know, those who watch high school and college and pro basketball know that 39 seconds, we could be doing that for the next 5 minutes, that 39 seconds.
Second differential on the shot clock.
Plotty with the ball behind him.
Oh, strong move to the hoop. Good defense. Good no call right there. Oh, a nice steal.
Plotty with the ball.
7 seconds left. Timeout on the floor.
Timeout. Did Pilati or Goretti? I guess it doesn't make a difference. I saw the Goretti coach calling the timeout, but he didn't have the ball. So I guess Pilati must have called it.
They were caught. I was watching the other end. The Pilati Panthers coach was calling as well, Murphy.
Stereo timeouts are being
Looks like
called.
they're charging it to the Goretti Gales, though. Either which way, we got 7.7 seconds left. We've got the Pilati Panthers down by 1, 54-55.
With the ball, right?
And I'm not sure who's got the ball coming out of it because both coaches called timeout, and that threw me off.
I thought it was Pilati's ball, but, you know, I guess like the rest of the viewing audience, we'll have to wait and see.
I think you're right, though. I think what happened was they were pressing the big man underneath on the rebound, and they got the steal off the him trying to make the outlet pass.
Yeah, looking to my left, I can see Coach Murphy of Pilati, and it looks like he's drawing up an offensive play.
So they're going to take the ball inbound under their own hoop, down 1 with 7.7 seconds to go in the game. Shot clock is off. Not under the hoop. They're giving them 2 out here up top here.
This will give the boys some early season pressure under their belt.
5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, long 3. Oh, almost. Uh-oh, they called the foul. They called the foul. He's going to get to go to the line.
Whoa.
Down 1. He's got 3 chances to make 2 for the win.
Look, I'm looking at the Coretti coach, and to say he's unhappy is an understatement. Wow, we don't have replay, I don't believe, so that's going to be one that we're going to have to just deal with.
Wow. He's got 3 chances to make 2 for the win, 1 for the tie.
Martin's at the line, Scott, and he's a senior. So let's see if those 4 years of playing basketball at Pilati will pay off here, and he can make 2 of these shots.
Just another free throw, right, Bill?
Yep.
Martin needs to take a few deep breaths.
Exactly.
Knock it down.
That's too much time to think about it. But I guess if you play high school basketball and you're a senior, you want to be at that line to win the game for your team, don't you?
That's the heart you want in all your players. You want to be the guy with the ball in his hands, with the game on the line.
Coretti timeout. I guess that's equivalent of a football coach calling timeout before a field goal is being kicked. They want to put a little bit of extra mental pressure on the
Murphy trying to ice him at the line.
Yeah, because as I'm looking, they put 0.2 seconds on the clock. So I don't think Coretti can really call a play with 0.2 seconds.
Nope. That opens up about the only opportunity there is for a putback. If he misses all 3, and a putback on the 3rd one to win the game on a tip in.
And I think, Scott, looking at the clock, that's 0.2. Or is that 2 seconds? It's hard for me to tell from that clock.
That's 0.2.
0.2, okay.
All right. Now, actually, I'm wondering, It looked like he was at three-point land, but I just saw the ref put up 2 fingers. I don't know if he's shooting 2 or shooting 3.
That's a big
He's
question.
shooting 3. He's had the lead late in the game, that 1 foul. But you got to hand it to the Pilati Panthers for hanging in there and hitting those free throws to end the game.
And they were down a couple times during the game, Scott, and just sort of, they figured out what was working and what wasn't working. As you mentioned earlier, that short-range jumper seemed to be a little bit of the difference in the second half.
Well, Bill, it was a pleasure calling the game with you. Our sons are seniors, and we're closing out our careers here at Gonzaga. But if they'll have us back, I'd love to do it again with you next year.
I am all over that, Scott. And again, you get a little nostalgic as you watch these things you watched for the past 4 years. And Gonzaga has some great traditions, and the DC Classic is certainly one of them. But yes, if somehow we can wiggle our way back onto this court next year in December, I'm happy to do another game with you. I don't know if we'll get another game as exciting as this, but, we'll do it anyhow.
Our thanks to Ron Jakes and the whole crew here at Gonzaga and volunteering all their time to put on this DC Classic. Great basketball for good works. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, both of you, for tuning in.
Exactly. And also, there are more games to be played this afternoon and also tomorrow. You won't have the luxury or the benefit of Scott and I doing the games, but tune in anyhow.
You'll muddle through. Thanks,
Exactly.
Bill. Thanks, everyone. Signing off.